Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. Everybody has questions. My first night in the homeless shelter. So I went into the homeless shelter yesterday at like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I checked in. I know this homeless shelter. I know some of the staff there because I was in this homeless shelter particularly 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, give or take. I was in this homeless shelter years ago, and some of the staff that were there are still there. So I went and I did my intake on the phone with this lady. Her name is April, and I know her. And she was like one of those staff members. She was kind of cool. Y'all know when y'all meet a staff member wherever at work, it's always somebody that's kind of cool. They kind of just neutral and cool with everybody. She's one of those people. I still don't trust her, but she's one of those people. So I go there, I check in. At first, when I called and did the initial check-in over the phone, I really didn't want to go. I kind of wanted to stay in my car again. But I was, like, frustrated in my car. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been on vacation. Today's the last day of my vacation. So I have to go back to work tomorrow. But I was a little frustrated in the car. So I said, let me get out of this car if I can and get into a shelter because it is starting to get cold outside. So it's good for me to get into the shelter now before everybody starts coming to the shelter. Because eventually it's going to be too cold to even, like, you know what I mean? So I said, let me get in the shelter now and just get my feet placed in the shelter now. So I got there. They were like, oh, we recognize you, we remember you. I told them my story about, you know, what happened with my children and, you know, how I lost my apartment and all this stuff. Because they want to know all that stuff so they can figure out how they want to figure out how they can help you. So, you know, they're asking me all these questions. It's like a formal intake question, which was fine. I answered them. So then I got all the questions done. You know, going into a shelter is like, it's slow and tedious, right? Because sometimes some of the staff members that work at the shelter, they don't want to do their job. Like, nobody really wants to work. It's a slow process. They're just slowing along, you know what I'm saying? So it's a slow process. So I'm tired. I have my bags. I'm just kind of tired. I just want to freaking really go to sleep. But when I got done all my paperwork, they took my license and everything down like that. I eventually, I asked the lady, I said, listen, can I take a shower? You know, I want to take a shower. I want to wind down. So she was like, oh, sure. So I'm like, okay. I see other women there. When I went into the day room, there were like 4 other grown women in the day room. And they were just kind of, some of them were asleep on the table, like they had their head down on the table. And other girls were able to leave the shelter and stay away all day. But when you're staying away from the shelter all day, they want to know what you're doing, like, especially if you're not working. If you're not working or something, they want to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just leave the shelter all day and come back to sleep and not let them know what you're doing, what you're up to, what you're doing for the day. They want to know. So me, I work, right? I go back to work tomorrow. So I have to stay in communication with them and let them know that, you know, I work tomorrow. This is my schedule for the week. They may even ask for my schedule. And I have to commute back and forth. And it's a long commute, too. So I have to commute back and forth to work, which sucks. But I got to keep doing what I need to do to gain housing. So I asked the lady, she's the lady that's in charge. I asked her, I said, you know, and there is kind of like a shelter is kind of like a prison. You kind of have to ask for everything that you want. You have to ask for things that you need. You have to ask for it. So I asked her, I said, listen, can I take a shower? You know, I'm tired. I wanted to take a shower and get into bed, but in the shelter, you can't go to bed until the day is over. Until your day is over. You can't go into the bedroom thing until like 8:30 at night. 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, we can go into our beds. Because they don't want you, it's like you're not at home. This is not your personal home. So they don't want to put out the analogy that, you know, I can sleep whenever I want. I can sleep, not at that place. So I asked her, can I take a shower? And she was like, yeah. So I'm in the shower, right? I get all my stuff into the room. I go into my room. I didn't have any sheets or anything on my bed. No sheet, no blanket, no nothing. So I'm like, okay. No sheet, no blanket, no nothing. So I'm like, all right, maybe she'll bring it up. Hours go by. I'm in the shower. When I was in the shower, maybe an hour and a half went by while I was in the room. So I get out the shower. I wanted to really wash my hair, but I didn't have my shampoo and everything, and I really don't need to wash it yet. My hair is actually okay. So I'm in the shower. I take a 20-minute shower. You know, I shower my body off, suds, rinse myself off, shower myself. I wash up like 4 times to make sure all the dirt and stuff is off my body. So I shower, rinse off, shower, rinse off, shower, rinse off, cleaning out my ears, cleaning out everything. I get out of the shower, I'm out there drying my body off, just taking my time, loving on myself, like cleaning my body off, caring for myself, loving myself, self-caring for myself, right? So I hear the lady come down the hallway. Jeannie, you done? I said, yeah, I'm done. Can I come in? I said, yeah. She was like, oh, I just want to let you know that showers are only 7 minutes. Showers are only 7 minutes. So I looked at her and said, oh, 7 minutes? So I said, oh, okay, 7 minutes, no problem. Mind you, there's no other women in here. Like, nobody's coming after me. Nobody's doing nothing, right? There's not a line because I'm literally just coming in to the shower, so nobody's really inside the room. It's just me coming in off the streets wanting to take a shower. So she comes into the room and says, oh, we only supposed to take 7-minute showers. Mind you, the shower was cold. There was no hot water. It was a lukewarm shower. It wasn't even warm. It was like a lukey warm. So I look at her like, oh, 7 minutes? No problem. You know, I'm respecting her, even though I want to say, what are you talking about, 7 minutes? A real shower for someone to really cleanse their body off, someone that doesn't take a shower every day, the fact that I'm homeless, well, I do take a shower every day at Planet Fitness, but there might be a day out the week that I might skip a shower, but I said a real shower for you to really cleanse your body off would be like 20 minutes, even up to a half an hour. So I looked at her like, 7 minutes? Okay. Just power tripping, you know what I'm saying? I said something to a lady in the room. I said, yeah, this lady tells me I gotta take a shower for 7 minutes. So she was like, oh yeah, you know, they be power tripping in here and stuff like that. I said, I know. But she was like, you know, you just make nice and say, okay. And I said, you're right. I don't want to come off like I'm ungrateful. And I know that the shelters, that's what they do to people. They groom you and make you not want to be there. Because there's going to be rules that you have to follow. Because if you don't follow the rules, they kick you out. And I'm a rule follower. Like, I'm going to follow the rules or whatever. So, no problem. But this in particular lady, when I was at the shelter like 6 years ago, she was nasty to me one time. I think one time I got up in the middle of the night and I came to her and I asked her for something. And she said something like, go to bed. Like, with an attitude. She turned around and like, go to bed. And I'm just like, here I am, a grown woman. I was in my late 30s at that time. I'm like, here I am, a grown woman, but you're talking to me in your kind of way. Okay, I'm gonna let that slide. But when you work in a shelter and you're working with the public and people are homeless, I know there is a lot of people that are out here and they're going to try to play you. I know. I'm aware of that. But I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those lazy people that, you know, I'm not living off the government. I'm not collecting welfare. I'm not getting anything. I'm trying to get my life back together. But sometimes in these shelters, you have angry staff members. People are angry with their lives, and they come and put their anger and stuff. They put it out on you. So the lady yesterday, the one that worked, I guess she came in at like 3. I guess she did 3 to 11. She was nasty. Really nasty woman. Really, really nasty. They don't know how to talk to people. Especially people that are homeless. You shouldn't talk to the homeless like they not worth nothing. But nobody cares for you. Like, there's no care and there's no genuine love for people. Don't go into a field, like if you're a nurse or you're a doctor, if you don't want to help someone, if you can't be empathetic for someone in their situation, like nice, don't even bother working for them. But people want to get their money, so they don't care. But the other lady that worked 3 to 11, she got a crappy attitude. Like the lady April in the morning, she's pretty cool. I've never seen her attitude side. But it's 2 women in there that got nasty, disgusting attitudes. Treat us like we're humans, right? Stop looking at us as being homeless and getting evicted and all this stuff. Stop judging and looking at us like we ain't crap. Your job is easy. All you're doing is sitting down, taking phone calls from homeless people that say that they need housing, they need respite, they need to come out of come from out of the streets. Stop it. Because one day you don't never know when your life could crumble and when your life could just turn into like a shitstorm. Stop judging us. Because a lot of us are doing the best that we can. All of us have a story, right? We all have a story. They're rationing out everything. Toilet paper. I'm going to bring my own toilet paper, baby. I got to roll in here somewhere. I'm going to go back and bring my own toilet paper. Even toilet paper down to the nub. For grown women. The stuff is just so old inside the place. And I know the man that owned the place, he got like other businesses. So he can go through there and fix up the bathrooms. And I mean, you don't have to make it a little bit more modern and make it like, come on. The stalls don't have a lock on it. One of the showers is not working. Like, why are we working with one shower? Why do we have one shower that when we got like 10 girls up there? 10 girls, one shower. Like, what the heck? Like, some things just don't make no sense, and I'm not being ungrateful, but they need to upgrade that place. They have the money, they have the resources. This man gets donations from other businesses. I know this man he bought a whole nother property, a couple $1 million property. They have money, but they won't fix up the shelter. Apparently they're doing something. They're supposed to be making up. They have a family life area where mothers can come through with kids. But the kids section has been closed down for a long time. Like a couple of years it's been shut down. But fix the place up for people that really, like, if you're a person and you come through there and you got a crappy attitude and you're not trying to better yourself or better your life, well, they don't need to be bothered with you. But for the people that really come through there and they want to change and they want to change their situation, stop treating them like crap. Stop treating them like crap. Because it's not nice and it's not fair to treat somebody like that. We know that y'all want to keep us on our toes as far as we don't want you to get comfortable. They don't have no couches in there, or they got these hard behind chairs and tables in the day room. So they don't want us to get comfortable. And I understand. I get it. But you don't got to treat people like garbage in the process. Because that's what a lot of them do. Because whatever they got going on in their life. And the lady that said something to me about the shower, very beautiful black woman. Very beautiful, very pretty. I believe she's married. I don't know, but she's very pretty. But her attitude is to the left. You come to tell somebody that came from being in the streets for 30 days, homeless in her car, you're going to tell me that I need to take a 7-minute shower? And I'm just looking at her like, 7 minutes? Okay, 7 minutes. That's what you say. So just make her feel good. Make her feel like she said something. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But, yeah. I mean, I was in the shelter before, but last time I was in the shelter, I had my kids with me, and my kids were younger. So it was a different atmosphere because when, we had chores and we had things that we had to do. But, it's tough in the shelter. Because you get people that feel like that they have power and stuff over you. And they want to talk to you any old kind of way. Even the lady that had the 3 to 11, she's a young girl, looked like she probably was in her 30s. She had a crappy attitude. I asked her for a blanket. I said, can I have a blanket? Oh, we don't have any more. I said, a homeless shelter don't have any more blankets? Is that how y'all treating people? So I go downstairs to my car to get a blanket out of my car. And mind you, it was nighttime. And where I'm at the shelter, there's men that stay downstairs. There's men downstairs. So I'm like asking somebody, listen, can somebody walk outside with me to my car so that I'm safe? Because there's men out here. There's like pedophiles. There's men that come from prison that go to shelters. So then one of the other guys came out. He was like, oh, no, we got some blankets. I said, blanket? I said, y'all got blankets? I said, can I have 2? So he was like, oh, yeah. So he gives me the blankets, and I'm looking at them, and they don't look like they're clean. They just look like somebody folded them up. I'm smelling them. They don't really smell so great. But I said, whatever. Let me go upstairs. So I go upstairs. I give this blanket to this other black lady. She's an older. She looks like she got to be in her 50s. So I said, you want one of these blankets? I have 2. I went downstairs and got them. She was like, oh, yeah, thank you. So I put one on her bed. But I'm looking at them, and one of them had like a dead fly in it. And I was like, oh, no, we're not doing this. I'm not sleeping on this crap. This don't even look like it's clean. Number one, it has a dead fly in it. I said, no, I don't want this crap. No. I wasn't acting like to myself. I didn't want to act like that to somebody else and come off like I'm ungrateful. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to come off ungrateful. But in my head, I'm like, oh, no, I don't want this crap. It doesn't look clean. It looked like it had hair in it. It looked like it had cat hair in it. And I don't want it. So I told him, I said, no. She was like, oh, we can just put it up there for somebody else. I said, well, good for them, because they can just have it. I said, I have a blanket in my car. I can just go get that. So then the lady gonna look at me. She was like, well, how big is the blanket? I said, it's probably a queen size blanket. So she was like, okay. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get my blanket. Next time when I come back up here tonight, I'm gonna have my own blanket and my own sheet too. So I come equipped with my own stuff. So the girl, I guess she left at 11, but she had a crappy attitude too. We go downstairs and eat dinner last night. She was sitting over there at a table off to herself. Everybody kind of sat at their own table because, you know, we're all strangers and stuff like that. But we're strangers, but we're all in the same position of being homeless. So if you guys want to hear more about my homeless journey, my homeless shelter, part 1, come back. I'm going to let y'all know the rest of it. I'll talk to you soon.